my friends, hello and welcome back to my channel. It is Carrie from Coffee and Crafts. Boy, do we need our coffee this morning. And as you can see, I've been working on it. And boy, do we need our crafts. So this video today is a what I started in May. Sadly, it is not a what I completed in May. I did not complete anything. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I'm beating myself up about it. But I do have a lot more WIPS than I did last month. So I'm trying to keep that in mind so that I don't beat myself up too much. But I do have a lot more WIPS than I did last month. I think last month I had one WIP and one completed page. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Maybe let me know what I did last month compared to what I did this month. So let's get into the video. First of all, I got this swatch book. And one of the reasons that I haven't completed any pages is because half of the time I went down the rabbit hole, you guys, of collecting supplies for the channel and organizing them. I'm a little OCD, but putting that aside, it is very important to organize your tools. So if they're not organized, you're most likely not going to use them. I'm sorry, every company out there that sells pencils, pens, pastels, watercolors, markers, but your tins are less than desirable. That's the nicest way I can put it. So I spent a lot of time organizing, which will be an investment for the future, and I'll be able to get more done. So one of the things I did this month is I got this swatch book. It's a watercolor book, sketchbook that's dotted. It's watercolor paper and dotted, and many pages. I'm not sure how many, like 200, but it's 160 GSM. It's very thick. It is shadowing, but it's doing the job that I want it to do. So let's go ahead, and I'm considering this is one of my WIPs because this is a project in itself. So I'm in the process and the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to refer to my swatches when I'm working on a project and not have to keep swatching over and over again. Although swatching is a good way to warm up before you start a painting. So that's another subject. But it's nice to be able to refer to a swatch and see your colors on a piece of paper all in one place. Okay, so I've started with my design journey pencils. I don't think I've shown those on the channel yet. I have them in this case, which is what I'm talking about with the organization, but they're not an expensive set. They're only like $30, you guys, for 72, so about 50 cents a pencil. It was gifted to me by one of my subscribers, I just love them. I haven't used them really too much, but I will be using them in May. The reason I wanted them is look at the coloring on this. They are beautiful. I think these will go really well with some of the fish in my ocean book. I also have a couple of new ocean books that I'm going to bring to the channel. So I think these are just absolutely beautiful. And this is the design journey version. They have several sets, but I've tried them out a little bit, not on a WIP or anything, but just swatching a little bit, and they're really nice. They're very creamy and soft. I highly recommend them. Okay, and so here are the darker colors. But yeah, it's just a 72 set, and I put them in this little case. Okay, so I still need to swatch them, but I've written out all of the names. The names are not on the pencils, but you can find them online. All right, so, and there's a few pages of them here. I swatched my Faber-Castell pastel pencils that we have been using on our WIPS for backgrounds, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But these are the names and the colors. And then I have some blank pages here for some swatches I'm planning to do this month. Quite a few actually that I haven't done yet. Let's see. Okay. I also swatched a 12 set of pastel pit pens. These are more of a transparent marker. And I swatched my Arctic's acrylic metallic pens, which I did use in a WIP today. So, I have looked everywhere. I cannot find any color names for Arctic's markers. And by names, I do not mean numbers. They say they name the markers, but then there's just a number. So if anyone knows where I can find color names for Arctic's metallic markers, or any acrylic, if you saw my short, you know that I have the 120 anime set. So I would like to swatch that and have names to them, but I cannot find names anywhere, you guys. So if anybody knows where I can find the names, if there are any, or if there are any, so I can stop searching, please let me know in the comments. Okay, and then I also swatched the Ohuhu glitter. Ohuhu, you guys, I held back. I was skeptical. I tried not to get Ohuhu, and so I finally caved and got a 12-pack of the glitter, and I gotta tell you, they're top-notch. I really love them a lot, and so they are gonna go on my Amazon wish list. I'm gonna want more Ohuhu pens. Okay, jelly rolls. The original Sakura brand jelly roll Starlight. These are the glittering set that they have. It's a 12-pack. And these are some official names. The last two were questionable, whether that was the name of the colors, but they're super pretty. And that's it. Okay, so that is my WIPs, or my completed and WIPs in my swatch book. The next one is Joanna Basford's World of Flowers. Now, I'm not sure if I showed you this picture in my last what I completed, but I'm just gonna show it really quick just in case you guys haven't seen it. But I know I showed this flower, but this is a WIP that I'm working on here, and I just need to do the background. The reason I haven't finished it is because I'm not super happy with the colors, with the blue and the blue-green together. I don't know. What do you guys think? The orange goes well with it. I wish I had done it a little bit differently, but, you know, lesson learned. And it's kind of busy in here, but, you know, I'm learning my style, but it's okay. So that's possibly a WIP. I need to do the background this month and be done with that flower. So that's all I did in the flowers. Most of my work this month was in Lost Ocean because, like I said, I have some new supplies and I like to test them out before I color something that I love, that is dear to me. So this is my test book. If you haven't heard me give this little speech, I like to have a book that I give myself permission to mess it up. And I have. I have messed up some things in this book. But I'm learning, and it's something I don't care about. it isn't that I don't like Joanna Basford's Lost Ocean. I do. I really love this book a lot. But it came to me bent. Can you see that? It came to me bent, and it would have cost me money to return it, and I just didn't want to do it. So I was like, well, let's just use it for practice. Okay, so let's see. Let's find our first page that we worked on. This one, we worked on this one, and I did a color along with it, so it's probably familiar to you. But I used Derwent watercolor pencils for the background. And you know, I'm really liking the Derwent pencils. I'm finding their sets to fit my style more, because they're more the tertiary colors, which are like your yellow greens versus yellow or green. You know, the more muted, more toned down colors. I really like that style. Take a little coffee. Okay, and then I put, okay, let's cut that part. Okay, so this page may be familiar to you. I did a couple of color alongs with it. I used the Derwent watercolor pencils, and you know, I'm really liking Derwent. At first, I didn't think Derwent was that great for the price. They are expensive, but let's face it, everything is expensive. But I like them because it fits my style. I like more the deeper and more, how do I describe it? More muted, the pastels, the more, they move me more. You know, I don't really care for the primary colors. Now, if that's your style, that's cool. And I watch other people use primary colors, and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. But it's just not. You can appreciate something and it not be your style, right? Okay, so I'm really liking the Derwent. I think eventually I am going to get a set of ChromaFlow colored pencils, because they're more of they're like the secondary colors. They have a lot of the tertiary colors, which is like your yellow greens and your violets, and they just move me for some reason. But it's really important to learn your style. Okay, so I also used my what did I use on this? I used Jelly Roll pens, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong if you watch the color along, but I think I used gel pens. I used gel pens. I'm not sure which gel pens, but I used gel pens for the scales here, the outline of these scales. And then I just did, I tried to make it feel round. I don't know that I did a great job, but I'm making this center part lighter and then this top part and bottom part darker. I still need to do the face, the fins, and then the background. I have an idea of how I'll finish the fish. I haven't decided on the background. All right, so what's the next one? The next one, I'm really proud of, you guys. Not because it's fabulous, but because I put my heart and soul into it. All right, so here it is. It is so close to being done. I was hoping that it would be a completed page today, but I just didn't have it in me to finish. So what did I do on this page? And I think I did a color along, maybe one with the background. But so for the background, I used a Neo Color 2 dupe from iCrayon. And are those as good as Neo Color 2s? No, but they're not bad. If you don't have a budget for Neo Color 2s, those things are so expensive. So if you don't have a budget for that, these are a good dupe to use. And the water, and I was kind of learning how to use them, and I realized what I was doing wrong. I was putting another layer on, and then it was getting this kind of messy, rough look about it. And what I was doing is I was reactivating what I had already put down. So now I know that I need to seal it if I'm going to do another layer, or just realize that that's what's going to happen. However, I think it came out pretty cool, the background. I think it makes this marbling effect, makes it look like water, like it's moving water. So I did a dark blue on the bottom and then a lighter blue on the top to kind of emulate, okay, you're looking up at the sky. And for the, okay, so that's the background. So the second dimension, so I tried to give this picture some dimension. So the background dimension is the water. So the second dimension, which is closest to us, are the leaves. And how I accomplished that is I used my Ohuhu glitter pens. And is that all I used? Yeah, that's all I used. I used my Ohuhu glitter pens. I used a yellow, I used a dark green, and a light green. And you can kind of see, if I move, can you guys see that? I'm not sure if you can see the glitter, but in person, I can see the shininess, and it looks really close that way. Okay, so the third dimension was the middle. I left the middle for the last, and that's what I'm working on now. Now, before I talk about that, do you see how doing the background really helps you to see the fish? I mean, that is really a good way to approach it. I'm kind of wanting to do my backgrounds first and then the page. Okay, so my thought was for the middle ground to use my acrylic, my Artex acrylic, these things are a mouthful, you guys. My Artex acrylic metallic pens. Now these are a very opaque pen. What is opaque? It means you can't see through it. So the problem with that is if you just paint across the page with it, you're gonna lose all the artwork in the coloring book. So take for example this flower. What I did is I made sure I came up short of the line that I was painting up against, so I would not lose the artwork of the flower. And it gives it a very painterly look. Now I could come back with colored pencil and fill that in if you don't like the white, and I might do that. But I think it looks okay the way it is too, to have a little bit of white space. Maybe that's the light shining against the flower. But just keep in mind that if you're gonna use Artex acrylic markers, or any acrylic marker for that matter, it's more like a paint, and it's more of an opaque paint, and if you're not careful, you're gonna lose your artwork in the book. Okay, so I used these colors. I think that came out pretty. I had a limited palette, so that's what I used. And then the fish are a combination of Staedtler fine liners and the metallic markers. I'm kind of regretting using that orange. I don't think it goes very well. But it's what I had available at the moment. I could come in and try to tone that down, and I might. Okay, so another thing is that I tried to do some shading with this fish with a dark Staedtler fine liner. And I'm finding that the fine liners, the darker colors, even the medium tones, should really only be used for shading, because it's the same thing as the acrylic markers. It wipes out the graphics in the book. So I tried doing that and I really thought, oh no, I've been really loving this page and I just ruined it. But one handy thing about the acrylic opaque markers is you can cover up mistakes with it. So I thought it looked so bad. And so what I did is I took a teal acrylic marker and I went over the parts where I shaded that I didn't like, and it doesn't look too bad with that. Now the orange, I'm still not very happy with. I may rework that a little bit. And this orange here, I mean, the little guys, it's not too bad, but the bigger one, I don't like how it came out. So I may try to fix that. But that's one cool thing about the acrylic markers, is that you can fix mistakes with it. Okay, so my focal point is going to be these two fish, so I need to figure out how to make these pop out. I think I'm going to go to my anime set and come up with some colors. I'm thinking maybe some pinks, or purples maybe. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? What color would make it really pop out? The yellow does. The yellow really pops out. I think the yellow was a nice choice, but the orange, not so much. All right, so that is my WIP on that page. Now, this next page is a little different. So this is an abstract, flowery looking thing in the ocean book, and I believe this last week was mental health awareness, I believe, and I think there was a men's stress or anxiety day. There's been a lot about mental health this week. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is when you're feeling stressed and you feel like, oh, if I work on my coloring book, I'm going to mess it up. I don't have the mental ability to think about my coloring. This is a good way to still do a little bit of coloring, and it helps you with your mental health. So what I did here is I did flat coloring, or straight coloring, some people call it, where you just don't consider shading at all. And this is so detailed that it lends itself to that. So I used my Staedtler fine liners. I used a light blue, a light green, and this pretty bright pink. You can see where I experimented a little bit with the darker, and to see if the dark would overtake it, and it was. So you need to stick with the lighter fine liner colors, lighter and brighter ones that are more transparent, if you don't want to lose the graphics. But with this, I just did a little bit each night when I wasn't feeling like coloring something serious, and it looks beautiful. I think it looks beautiful, and it's coming along. I still have a little bit to finish right here in mostly the leaves. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there, but I need to do the background as well. So that's that. That finishes up that book. I can find the cover to close this. Okay. Last book, last but not least. Let's take a little sip of coffee. Last but not least, my favorite book thus far. This is Symphony of Cute Animals by, okay, I'm gonna butcher her name, but Kinoko Isuga? Kinoko Isuga? Agusa. Kinoko Agusa? I think that's the name. It's a curious coloring book adventure. Lots of animals, lots of flowers. I have 2 WIPs in here. This is the one you're most familiar with. I've done a couple of color alongs with it. I used pastel pencils, pastel colored pencils. And I demonstrate how to do that. I think they are pretty close to the same as using the powdered version. But I will eventually try the powdered version as well and to compare them. But I think that the pencils, it's easier to control the powder. Now, one of my viewers told me, warned me, urged me, lovingly cautioned me that even blowing pastel powder is really bad for your lungs. And I didn't think just blowing it would be. So she really urged me to get a little vacuum, a little desk vacuum, and there are a lot of really cute ones out there, you guys. So I will show you the one that I got. Of course, it is a kitty. So this is the one I got, and I'll turn it on. So I'll warn you if you don't like vacuum sounds, but it's pretty strong. So I haven't tried it out yet, but it's got these little brushes on the bottom. And I've also seen a few people, it's kind of cute and endearing, really. But I've seen a lot of people with like a little miniature stuffed animal hanging out with them on their desk while they color. And they've named them. So I thought it would be cute to name the vacuum. I need your help, you guys. Please tell me in the comments what you think I should name this little guy. He's kind of a mauvey purple on the bottom and cream on the top. He's got little pink cheeks. It's a kitty. He's super cute. So help me with that. I'll give you an opportunity there in the comments to help me name this guy. And if I pick your name, I'll give you a shout out. Okay, let's get back to this page. So I used a light blue for the sky, some darker greens for the trees. The mountains, I'm kind of wishing I had made them more dark, almost black, or maybe a brown, because there's ending up being a lot of green on this page. But I could go over that. So these might be more of a brown, the mountains, to make it look further back. I really like this yellow-green color. Yellow-green? Green-yellow? Yellow-green. Which is it? Okay. And then I'm doing the flowers, these bluebells in purple. Some bluebells are, in fact, purple. And the birch trees, I wasn't sure how to approach those, so I just used the graphics and a little bit of shading. So I am basing. This is considered basing. So I am going to come back with colored pencil to give it some dimension. But right now we're just going to base the whole page, not just the background. So I've got the stump and then some moss here. And then this at first, when I first saw it, I thought it looked like a river, but it's actually the cute little fox is hiding behind this tree. I wish they had showed more of the tree somehow, and less moss, definitely. Wish there was more brown to this. But it is in fact a timber that has fallen. It's probably the one they cut from here. All right. So that's where I'm at with this page. We'll continue on in June with that. Now my last WIP is this front page in the same book. And I used my Black Widow pencils. And I did this blue for the background, and this background broke me. I decided this is the last time I use colored pencils for a background. At least a big one like this. If it's a partial background, if it's just little bits showing in the background, then maybe I would use colored pencil. But it just takes too stinking long. And it's really hard to keep it even. So I'm not going to say never ever, but 99.9% of the time, I will never use a colored pencil for the background again. You can just get better results and less time with pastels, watercolor pencils, Neocolor 2s, crayons, I don't know, anything but colored pencil. Okay, so I've used my Black Widows, so this is kind of a light blue. We've got a teal color happening here, and if you notice, I go from a darker teal to a lighter to give it kind of a grass versus sky feel to it, but it's very subtle. I'm using yellow for the center of the flowers, and then this light purple, light and medium purple here for these flowers. I don't have a big plan yet. I think I'll do some more purple. Maybe this one will be purple. Maybe I'll do a different color for here. And the bird, I want it to stand out. I'm not sure which color I'm going to do for the bird. But there is this cute little butterfly. I'm thinking maybe doing gel pens for the butterfly and the words. And then there's this little bee over here pollinating. So I love the colors. I love how it's coming out, but it is not done. All right, you guys, that is it for my WIPS. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. So this is all my books that I used, including my swatch book. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and seeing what I've been working on for the last month. I've had a ton of new subscribers. Thank you if you are new to the channel, and I will do my best to entertain you and keep you in the loop, include you, color along with you so that we can share this journey together. All right, if you like the video, please like the video. It helps me so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Yeah, hit the bell so you know when I post a video. I do not have a specific schedule yet on videos, but I am trying to put out content regularly. Let's see what else. I have an Amazon wish list, so that is one way that you can support the channel, is with a wish list. There are both economical things on there and very, very expensive things on there. So don't feel obligated that you need to support me in that way. Just watching my videos and liking them and commenting is a great support as well. All right, that's it. All right, you guys. So here's to a great May, and here's to a great June. Let's get more colored in June. Are you with me? All right. Happy coloring.